What's going on, guys? I'm your host from the East Coast, Gina Man 94, here to give you guys an episode of the Botch Squad podcast. I'm just here to give you guys a few news stories from around the wrestling world and talk about a few things that have been on my mind lately and some few things that's happening. So let's get right into it. So first thing I want to talk about is Billy Corgan, the TNA president, is reportedly suing TNA, the company, the parent company Impact Ventures LLC or whatever. He's suing Dixie Carter, her husband, and whoever the chief financial officer is for TNA. Now, the reason he's suing these guys is because he funded, I think, a few TNA shows and even Bound for Glory, and has not been compensated for it. TNA was in a struggle. They weren't even sure how Bound for Glory was going to go on, but they still were able to pull it off, and I'm hearing that Billy Corgan was apparently one of the major reasons why that show still was shown. So I guess the problem here is he's not getting his money and they're not communicating with him well enough, so he's taking him to court. He's taking him to court in the state of Tennessee, and apparently something else that I'm hearing is that TNA isn't paying taxes. So this could be even more terrible news for a struggling company holding on to their last little life cells. This company is going downhill at an alarming rate, and they're still trying to find a way to survive, but at the same time, they're not doing a well enough job because, they'll stay afloat and then they'll just resink themselves again with these stupid things that they keep doing. So you're not paying taxes, you're apparently not paying the wrestlers, and now you're not paying the TNA president who's helping keeping this company to where it is right now. So TNA is just all over the place at this point in time. So I don't know what's going to happen, but if they don't do something soon, if them checks don't clear, then not only will they have talent walking, but they'll lose a major amount of money to the TNA president, and they'll be in legal trouble because they're not paying any taxes. So we'll see where that goes from there. But segueing away from that, from a struggling company to a returning women's wrestler coming to NXT, not coming back to the main roster, but coming to NXT. Mickie James is coming back to the WWE to face the NXT Women's Champion Asuka at the next NXT TakeOver event. This is huge. We haven't seen Mickie James in the WWE since maybe 2008, I think. Has it been that long? It's been about 8 to 9 years since we've seen her in the WWE. Former women's champion, back when, before they changed it to the Divas Championship, she actually won the women's championship, the original women's championship. But she will be at NXT TakeOver Toronto, I think it's November 19th. This is great because Mickie James is an incredible women's wrestler, and so is Asuka. So I believe these two women are going to be able to put on a hell of a contest. There really wasn't anybody else for Asuka to face yet because Ember Moon is still getting herself out there, still developing herself, and none of the women down in NXT have even a remote chance at even hurting Asuka in a match like that. So you have to bring back a legitimate contender or, try to rush somebody to get ready for this match, which is not enough time. So the fact that Triple H was able to go out and get Mickie James to come back to the WWE is great. Now, what shape she's in, because she just had a kid, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what shape she's in, but this is just going to be a great match. If you remember the feud Mickie James had with Trish Stratus, one of her greatest feuds of all time. I didn't really pay that much attention to her when she was in TNA, but apparently she's, a TNA legend in the Knockouts division there, so she's apparently great wherever she goes. I don't know if she's been wrestling on the independent scene or what she's been doing lately, but hopefully she's in tip-top shape and we have a very, very excellent women's match that can possibly steal the show, to be honest with you. So we'll see. Apparently they tried to get Trish Stratus to come back, but she's expecting her second child as of now, so maybe in the future she'll be able to come back and face one of the women wrestlers that's currently in the WWE, but as of now she will be unable to do that because she's pregnant. So that's big news in itself. Trish Stratus, one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, could potentially come back in the future. I guess she's still open to it, and I guess that's who they went after first. But they were able to snag Mickie James, which isn't that bad of a second choice, to be honest with you guys. So that's big. That's big news. A big match planned for NXT TakeOver, which is going to be another great takeover based off of like 2 or 3 matches that have been booked so far. So we'll see. NXT continues to keep doing great things, and it's only a matter of time before, you know, I start watching NXT and stop watching Raw. It's getting to that point. I'm going to watch SmackDown because SmackDown's great, but it's getting to the point where NXT is better than Raw, and it's only an hour. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how great that match is, and can't wait to see Mickie James back. So next thing, speaking of women's wrestling, we're going to talk about is Paige. For the second time in the past 3 months, she is suspended. She violated the wellness policy once again. Apparently, according to her, she had, you know, the right prescriptions and clearance from the doctors and all of this other stuff. She brought all the doctor's notes she needed. She's dealing with, I believe, a back injury or a shoulder injury. I'm not too sure which one it is, but she's dealing with some injuries and apparently taking medicine that is not cleared by the WWE. And they've spoken out and said that she took a banned substance. We don't know what that substance is. They probably won't reveal it. We probably should know about it. But Paige is suspended 60 days this time. So that's 2 months instead of the 30 days she got the first time. This is huge. One more violation, she could be out of the company, which may be best for her at this point because they haven't been using her since AJ Lee left. And I think she's been part of that punishment, you know, because she's still good friends with AJ Lee. And the fact that, you know, they're trying to exile everybody that had anything to do with CM Punk or AJ, you know, on a super personal level. I believe Paige is receiving some of the backlash from that. Also, you know, her relationship with Del Rio, they for some reason don't want them to be together. Del Rio left the company a few weeks ago, or maybe it's been a month now. He left the company, went back to the independent scene. Apparently he's about to be an owner of a MMA company in Mexico. So, you know, Del Rio's doing great things. So, Paige can leave the company and still do great things, I believe. But they're just screwing her over at this point. They don't really care about Paige anymore. She hasn't been featured as one of the women's wrestlers in this whole women's revolution thing. And they're not really doing much with her. So, I don't know. I think her time in the company is coming to an end. She's grown bitter with the company. The company's bitter with her. It's going to be kind of difficult to see her as a future women's champion unless something completely changes, which I don't really see happening in the near future. So we'll see where it goes from there, but I think Paige's time in WWE is almost up. Segueing off of that, let's talk about SmackDown Live versus Monday Night Raw and why SmackDown Live is better than Monday Night Raw at this point. Raw is incredibly underwhelming. Why? Well, let's talk about it. Raw is 3 hours for one reason. It's a task. It's a daunting task to sit through Raw when it's not entertaining. You get these crap matches that don't mean anything. You get these crap storylines that they don't really explain that well to you, except for a few. You get the same matches over and over. You get these tag teams that lose in like 30 seconds. You get these squash matches, which are kind of entertaining, but at the same time, they get old after a while. You just have like the same rivalries go on for like 6 to 8 months. They drag on too long. You have the 50-50 booking, and most people don't even get their payoff. I mean, they get their payoff too soon. So there's no interest in the feud. Your heels aren't as entertaining as heels. They don't get as much heat as they should be getting. They're not building up the stronger tag teams how they should. Cough, cough, Anderson and Gallows. And it's just like, it's just terrible. It's terrible to watch. It's getting to the point where I don't want to watch Raw anymore. And I love wrestling. I don't want to stop watching Raw, but it's getting to that point where it's not entertaining to watch anymore. SmackDown Live, on the other hand, very entertaining, very interesting feuds. They make their stars and the people they're trying to build up look strong. They book the matches perfectly. The promos from the stars, from the superstars, are great. The storylines actually mean something. They have a direction that they want to go. They don't do the same thing over and over. They have new people competing for the championships. They give people chances. It seems like they're actually caring about the wrestling and the storytelling, where Raw is just like, this is Raw, you're gonna watch it anyway because it's Raw. I enjoy SmackDown Live. I haven't seen a bad episode. I've seen just like average episodes, but I haven't seen a bad episode of SmackDown Live yet. I've even been to a SmackDown Live. I was there a few weeks ago. If you guys haven't seen my vlog, it's on my channel a few videos ago. But yeah, I was at SmackDown Live. I enjoyed every second of it. Every feud just seems like it means something. They took somebody like Carmella, who it didn't seem like was ready to come up to the main roster, and they've made her matter. She's gone after Nikki Bella, the presumed top dog in the women's division, and is actually getting herself over. She's able to hang with Nikki Bella. They've taken Heath Slater and Rhino, made them tag team champions, and made them relevant. Heath Slater has never been relevant. Even in the Nexus, he was not relevant. He was the chick from Wendy's. Now Heath Slater is relevant. They gave him a gimmick. It got over with the crowd. They got the sympathy from, you know, him not being drafted. They took that, ran with it. SmackDown Live gave him the opportunity. He found a tag team partner. They were able to win the tag team championships. You take the Usos. They're heel now. They're more aggressive in the ring. They're no more funny business, no more dabbing and dancing in the ring. They come to the ring and they're all about business. They're here to hurt you, and they're here to get those tag team titles, and they seem legit. They're believable. You got somebody like Dolph Ziggler, The Miz. The Miz is relevant. The Miz is one of the top stars in the company, one of the most valuable pieces that they have. The Miz is important. They've made James Ellsworth important. Now, he's not to be taken too seriously, but he's an internet sensation at this point. That's a little bit thanks to Braun Strowman, because he destroyed him, and you know, the fact that he doesn't have a chin. But he's important. He matters. Dean Ambrose has elevated his character. He was challenged by Stone Cold to elevate his character, to take it to the next level. He's taking it to the next level. AJ's at the top of his game. Cena's still putting on great matches, and actually, you know, even more than before, getting people over. People are going over Cena clean with pinfalls. Bray Wyatt, I feel like they're failing with him a little bit. He's pinned Randy Orton 2 times in a row now, though. So it seems like he's winning the feud. Even if Randy Orton gets his payoff, Bray has looked strong for the first time in a long time. Luke Harper's come back. Luke Harper's great in the ring. That'll be very helpful to Bray Wyatt, because Luke Harper can talk on the mic. Just Alexa Bliss elevated her wrestling. Becky Lynch has been great. It's so many people. Baron Corbin started to become even more believable than he already was. They're just building people to the point where they need to be. Naomi's great. You know, you got the veteran Natalya. The women's division on SmackDown is incredible. The mid card, you got people that actually can compete. You have, everything about SmackDown Live is just great at this point. Daniel Bryan being the general manager, that definitely helps out. The crowd loves him, of course. Shane McMahon, you get the pops from the crowd that you need. Mauro Ranallo on commentary is golden. I think David Otunga's still trying to find his place. And, of course, you know, JBL, the contradicting heel commentator, doing his part. He fits better on SmackDown than he did on Raw. The commentary, they sell the matches. They make the matches feel important. And they should be. They should be doing that. You got to make your superstars look like and feel like they're important, and that starts with the commentary team too. Just everything about SmackDown Live is great, and it's just like the complete opposite on Raw. I don't know what they're doing wrong, but I don't know. Like, they have a plethora of women on Raw, and I'm segueing into another topic, the Raw Women's Division. Let's talk about the Raw Women's Division, okay? There is no Raw Women's Division. There's Charlotte and Sasha Banks. That's it. Bayley has not looked important in the past couple of weeks. Dana Brooke is Charlotte's lapdog. We haven't seen Nia Jax in about 4 weeks. They're repackaging Emma for God knows what reason. Why are you repackaging Emma? Emma was great before she got hurt. She was fine. Summer Rae hasn't been given a chance. Alicia Fox died. What other women are on Raw? I don't even know. They drafted most of the people. When the draft happened, we just thought, oh, Raw's going to dominate SmackDown. Look at all this talent they have. They have everybody. And SmackDown has nobody. But like John Cena and AJ Styles, that's it. There's no way Raw is going to be worse than SmackDown. And here we are, a few months later after the brand split, just like, and it's just the complete opposite of what we thought it was going to be. It is the exact opposite. But back to this Raw women's division that I said is non-existent. There's Charlotte and Sasha Banks, and I love both of them. They're both incredible competitors, but how many times are they going to have a match? I mean, really, how many times can you keep doing the same match over and over and over? There's going to get to a point where there's not much more they can do. And this Hell in a Cell match it was great when I heard about it, because it's going to be the first time I've seen something like that. But I don't think they're going to do that much in there. And the reason that I say this is because, I don't know. They're not going to, they're going to be it's going to be an aggressive match. Their matches are always aggressive. But I don't expect weapons. I expect them maybe to use the cell to throw each other into it a couple times. But they're not going to take full advantage of the Hell in a Cell match itself. It's going to probably be a good match, but it's not going to be what everybody's hoping for it to be. It's not going to be a Shane McMahon Taker Hell in a Cell match. It's just going to be like a standard match just with the cell around them. They're not going to put each other through tables. They're not going to set anything on fire or, bring out the thumbtacks or anything like that. I just think that WWE is going to water down this match, and it's going to be good, but it's not going to be a match worthy to be inside a Hell in a Cell, unfortunately. I think they should just let them go out and do, whatever, if they feel like that's what they want to do. Because that's what you're supposed to do in a Hell in a Cell match. That's the point of the match, to literally destroy your opponent, incapacitate them so that you can win. You're supposed to hurt them. And, since they've been acting like they want to just murder each other, why not let them do it inside a Hell in a Cell? But it's the WWE. I can't give them too much credit. They're not going to do all of that. They're not going to let them be what they should be in the match, because they're going to try to protect them, because, Sasha's had a history of injuries so far. And they're probably, scared she's going to get hurt again. So they're not going to let her take too many risks in the match and, potentially hurt herself even more severely than she's already done. But, yeah, like I said, this Raw Women's division is non-existent. There is none. Okay? There's Charlotte and then there's Sasha. Eventually, it's going to become one of those John Cena, Randy Orton things where you're going to get tired of seeing them wrestle. You're not building up for the future. What are you going to do? Charlotte versus Sasha at WrestleMania? We're not going to want to see that. They fought like all the time down in NXT. Well, most of the time in NXT, they fought each other after they were a tag team. And then now they're fighting on the main roster. They've been fighting for like a good 6 months. And, they try to incorporate Bayley. They try to incorporate Becky when Becky was, still on Raw. But it's just to the point now where it's just like, all right, we need to end this. Somebody else needs to contend for this women's championship. Stop switching it back and forth. The last 4 champions have been Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Charlotte. Or, vice versa. But they've both been like the last 4 times the championship has changed hands, it's been to one of them. And that's just crazy. Like, you got to give these women a chance. Not just Charlotte and Sasha. They're not the only ones on the roster who can work. Bayley is a good worker. Build her up to a women's championship match in the future. You don't have to give it to her right now, but make her feel important. Make her have like a side rivalry. Her and Dana are doing this kind of a little bit. They're doing a little bit of a rivalry, but it's not much. They're not having separate matches. They're giving Bayley like enhancement matches, which is fine for now, but give her a legit rivalry. You haven't done anything with Nia Jax either. Why can't they rekindle their old NXT feud? It can't just be 3 hours of Raw with only the women mattering. Only 2 women mattering. You can't do that. If SmackDown can have 2 women's matches on a show, or, develop 2 separate rivalries, why can't you do that? Why isn't Summer Rae relevant? She's been taking the job for a long time. And you got Emma coming back. You're repackaging her as Emelina. Why? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. She was fine just the way she is. You didn't have to do all of that. And let's talk about the cruiserweights too. Because the cruiserweights are not getting the time they need as well. The cruiserweights are awesome. If you watched any part of the CWC, you would know that. You know, Rich Swann, Tony Nese, Cedric Alexander, TJ Perkins, the Brian Kendrick, all the people they're adding now. I guess Sin Cara's part of it now. Why is Kalisto on SmackDown if you were just going to have a cruiserweight division on Raw? You should have just kept them together. They could have split up. You could have drafted both of them. You had enough picks. You had 3 picks to SmackDown's 2 picks, and you got the first pick every time. There's no reason Kalisto should be on SmackDown because I haven't seen him. He hasn't been used. Where's Neville? Why is Neville not wrestling the cruiserweights? You're obviously not going to do anything with him. You're obviously not going to do anything with Neville. Neville's not going to get a world championship opportunity. He's not going to get a United States championship opportunity. He teamed up with Sami Zayn. They don't have anything for these guys to do. Why is Sami Zayn not feeling important? Why is it just Roman Reigns and Rusev for the U.S. championship for the past several months? Why aren't you doing anything differently? This Roman Reigns and Rusev thing needs to end at Hell in a Cell. Roman needs a new opponent. It don't need to be Seth. It don't need to be Kevin Owens. It doesn't need to be Rusev. Find somebody else. Do something different. Surprise me. I don't care who it is. Just somebody different. Because it's just to the point where we just keep having the same matches over and over and over, and it gets stale. It gets boring, and it gets to the point where you don't want to watch it anymore. That's not entertaining. You don't want to just keep seeing the same matches over. And then you give away the pay-per-view matches on Raw. Why? Oh, we're going to have a tag team championship match at the pay-per-view, but let's have it on Raw first. Why? How in anybody's mind does that make any type of sense? It doesn't. But yeah, the cruiserweights, they're not getting enough time in the ring. The crowd is sour on them for some reason. Well, maybe it's because they're not getting enough time. They're able to do great things when they get the time to do it. You have all the time in the world on Raw. Why can't they get that time? Why can't they perform their moves and get up out of there? Why does it have to be rushed? Why does it have to be 2-3 minute matches? Why? So many questions about Raw. The Cruiserweight division would work better on SmackDown, to be honest with you. They'll let them work. I mean, they don't have enough time, but they'll still make them feel important. You got, TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick. They're going for the title. They're doing their little thing. And then you got the other ones that come in, and then they get to wrestle for 2 minutes, and then you don't really get to see their full moveset, so you're just like, what's the point of these guys? What's the point? If we're not going to see their full moveset, there's no point in having these guys here. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with Raw, but SmackDown Live is just great. Let's see, is there anything else I want to talk about before I get to my ending point, my ending rant? No, I think that's it. So let's talk about the final topic on the agenda, which is Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. Because it's coming. Oh, this match is going to happen. And it's going to be terrible. I'm sorry. If you guys are fans of Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, I'm sorry. But I'm going to have to completely destroy this match. Why? Because Brock Lesnar, the only time Brock Lesnar puts on a great match, it's either another person added to the match, or it's somebody that looks like they can legit beat him. A la Triple H, John Cena, Roman Reigns. Those matches were good. The triple threat match at the Rumble, that was good. The triple threat match with Reigns and Dean at Fastlane last year, that was a good match. I was there for that. I saw that match live. That match was not bad at all. Okay, cool. But it gets to the point where you got to look at Brock. Brock don't care about putting on good matches anymore. He doesn't. Brock is there to get a paycheck. That's it. If his money's there, that's all he cares about. He don't care about developing a storyline. He don't care about making the other person look strong. He's going to get in there, suplex you 1,000 times. Maybe you'll hit your finisher twice. He's going to kick out at 1. F5, it's over. That's it. That's what Brock's matches consist of. Okay, so you bring back Goldberg. Goldberg's like 1,000 years old now. He's not as big as he used to be back in the day. He's probably still about the same strength, but he's old. You want to see this match? This match happened at WrestleMania 20. It's about to be WrestleMania 33. That was like 12 years ago. So you want a 12-year-old later match that sucked 12 years ago? You want to see that match again? You really want to see that? Oh, Goldberg and Brock, they're beasts, they're animals. Okay, I get that. That's fine. But their first match was horrible. Even Stone Cold couldn't save that match, and he was the special guest referee. So it's going to happen again. Paul Heyman has issued the challenge to Goldberg. They put Brock Lesnar on the cover, and they put Goldberg as a pre-order bonus for WWE 2K17. They've put all the stones in place for this match to happen. And everybody's just going to lose their mind over it. And then they're going to be disappointed the same way they were at WrestleMania 20. Yeah, sure, these guys aren't leaving the company, but they don't care. They don't care. This is all about business from both sides. WWE knows this match isn't going to be good, but they know you put two names like Brock Lesnar and Goldberg in the same match again. Oh, we've been waiting on this rematch for the longest. They're going to reach out to those casual fans who used to watch wrestling back in the Attitude Era in the early 2000s and everything. They're going to get those people invested in this match so they can watch it. They can get those new subscribers to the network, and that's what their whole plan is going to be. And they don't care whether the match is going to be good or not because people are going to be watching. It's going to bring up the ratings. People are going to care. You put Goldberg on Raw, people are going to watch it. You put Brock Lesnar on Raw, people are going to watch it. Why? It's just like the same you put Stone Cold and The Rock on Raw. It's for business. It's business purposes only. It's not because it's going to be a good match, because it's not. It's not. These two... Brock used to be a good wrestler. He used to care before he left the company. And then that whole rivalry with Goldberg, he didn't care. You could tell. You could tell at WrestleMania when they both flipped off the crowd and just put on a crap fest of a match. They didn't care. What are they going to shoot? What are they going to try to do? Match each other's strengths? And Brock Lesnar is still young-ish. So at Goldberg's age, Goldberg is about to go to Suplex City. Yeah, Goldberg's going to Suplex City. He's going to look not as strong. Yeah, maybe they'll get a cheap spear in. But I don't even see Goldberg beating Brock. They're going to give Brock his win back. And people always complain that John Cena gets his win back, but so does Brock. Brock always gets his win back. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. The only person to get their win back off of Brock was it Taker? Because Brock took Taker's streak, which is still one of the worst decisions in wrestling history to me. He took Taker's undefeated streak, and then Taker made him pass out at SummerSlam the following year. So, I guess that's one time. But yeah, man. Brock doesn't care anymore. Goldberg is just coming back, probably for a paycheck. Not saying that he needs the money, but why not? They're trying to plug the game, WWE 2K17. They're trying to plug it so more people go buy that. Oh, we can do this match on the game too, so let's buy the game. Smart marketing strategies from the WWE. I understand why they're doing it, but it's still going to be a terrible match. And for somebody who cares about the wrestling part, it's not something I'm interested in. I'm sorry. I would rather see James Ellsworth go against Braun Strowman again than to see Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. Think about that. I'd rather see a jobber match than Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. And that's just the point I'm at. Nobody can persuade me otherwise. I'm sorry. I haven't cared about a Brock Lesnar match in years. I just don't care. I think his last good match was Triple H. No. Wait, I lied. The Fastlane match. That was his best match. And it wasn't because he was in it. It was because of Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, who people crap on Roman Reigns for. Oh, Roman can't wrestle. Roman's not entertaining. Roman's promos are terrible. Where would Brock Lesnar be without Paul Heyman? Answer me that question. Where would Brock Lesnar be if Paul Heyman wasn't consistently putting him over every week? But would Brock Lesnar matter then? Would he really? What if Roman Reigns had Brock Lesnar? Would you guys care then? I mean, Paul Heyman. What if Roman Reigns had Paul Heyman? Would you care about Roman Reigns then? It begs the question, huh? Maybe it's Paul Heyman that you guys like. Because Paul Heyman couldn't get Curtis Axel over, and that's just Curtis Axel's fault, to be honest with you. But Brock Lesnar has been put over by Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman comes out there and gets the crowd excited about Brock Lesnar. That's it. Brock Lesnar can't get nobody excited about him by himself unless he's in the UFC. So, and then you say, Roman can't wrestle, Roman is terrible, and Roman's boring. How is Brock any more entertaining than Roman Reigns? Brock can't cut a good promo. Brock has less moves than John Cena. And I'm putting up quotation marks because people say Cena can't wrestle as well, but Cena can wrestle. I know Brock can wrestle too. He has the NCAA background, but the point is he don't want to. You heard Dean Ambrose on the Stone Cold podcast. Brock didn't want to do anything for the WrestleMania. You didn't want to make the match interesting. You didn't want to, he just beat Dean in the match. That was it. Dean tried to use the weapons. Brock maybe used like a chair or something. He didn't make it interesting. If Dean was going to lose, make it convincing. He's the lunatic. They let him take out a few of the weapons that the legends gave him, the hardcore legends gave him, but they weren't even used correctly. That match could have been so much better. I don't care about Dean winning that match. I'm sure he was supposed to lose, but he should have been a bloody pulp afterwards. I mean, pants ripped up, shirt ripped off. All the announce tables should have been destroyed. There should have been a barricade or two down. Brock should have killed him. Literally kill him. Use weapons, put him through double the table, F5 him over the top rope through 2 tables. I don't care. That match could have been way more interesting. It's WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year, and you just go out there and just want to suplex 8 times and then F5 him, and then that's it. That just speaks on how Brock doesn't care anymore. Brock used to be great. I used to be a fan of Brock Lesnar. 2002, 2003, Brock Lesnar was great. His feuds with Kurt Angle and stuff. When he had, the alliance with, Paul Heyman, I think it was Matt Morgan, Big Show. That was great. That was a great Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar faced, who was the guy with the one leg gimmick? I forgot his name. But that Brock, I like that Brock. This Brock, he don't care no more. He really doesn't. And Goldberg is too old to put on a good match. I don't even think I've ever seen a good match from Goldberg, honestly, as well. I don't think I have. So, I don't know. People are just going to go crazy over this match. I'm not that invested in it. We'll see. Maybe they'll surprise me. I doubt it. There's a 1% chance they'll surprise me with a good match. 1%. That's how bad it is. I told you guys that Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton wasn't going to be a good match. You guys still thought it was a good match. You're entitled to your own opinions, I guess, but it still wasn't a good match. So we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I just wanted to give you guys a rundown of some of the news that's been going on, and a few thoughts about the things that they're doing. People getting suspended. A little bit of TNA news, which I barely talk about, because the only thing I really care about in TNA now is the Hardys and DK. DK is great. But other than that, I don't care about TNA. I don't even watch it. I just watch on YouTube when the Hardys do something. That's it. That's all I care about. Paige being suspended. She's probably done with the company. Mickie James versus Asuka is going to be great. SmackDown Live is far better than Monday Night Raw. The Raw's women's division needs to get better and expand more and do more things. And not just Charlotte versus Sasha all the time. And Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg is going to be terrible. So let me know what you guys thought. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with the whole Brock Lesnar thing that I was talking about. His match with Goldberg that's coming up. Probably a Survivor Series. I know you guys are going to disagree with that. but that's fine. That's what we're here for. We're able to give our different opinions and discuss them. So let me know in the comment section about any of the topics that I talked about. Let me know your thoughts on those, and maybe what Raw can do to get better or get on the same level as SmackDown. So I want to thank you guys for listening to this podcast episode, and thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys later on. Peace.